in Christchurch for the penultimate day of the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. We're about to bring you our third game of the day. Again, it's another game of the men's pairs, this time a semi-final. It is Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking up against Bruce McNish and David Archer. We are already through one end. It is Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking leading 2-0 over Bruce McNish and David Archer after the opening end. I'm Brenton Van Nistelrooy, and with me in commentary, as always, is Kevin Hicklin. Very good afternoon, Kevin.
Good afternoon, Brenton, and game 3 of today, and of course we've got this pairs game. Bruce McNish, of course, very successful player for New Zealand, won his New Zealand Gold Star for winning 5 or more New Zealand titles, and of course represented New Zealand, and his lead David Archer from the Tyree Club in Dunedin, who won the pairs with Mike Kernahan in 2007, and up against Richard Hocking and Andrew Kelly, who we did the earlier game on. And we saw a very, very good game between Sheldon Bagley-Harley and Richard Hocking, and Taylor Horn, of course, the skipping against Andrew Kelly. And let's see whether this game can live up to what we saw in that first game. And Bruce, it's interesting. So David Archer was not in fact playing in the Nationals, and then got in at the last moment, ended in the section 33 in the singles, and failed to qualify. And then in between time, Bruce McNish had contacted him and said, like, I hear you coming down, how about we play in the pairs? So here they are, and through to the semi-finals of the Summerset National Pairs.
Yeah, it's been quite some run as well, because of course they started the day in the last 16, did Bruce McNish and David Archer. In their round of 16 match, they overcame Pat Houlihan and Howard O'Donnell, and then just moments ago, as of around half an hour ago, they completed their win over Keanu Darby and Richard Kerr. And both of those games in their round of 16 and their quarterfinal, very close affairs. So I'd be surprised if we see anything different here in this men's pairs semi-final between Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking and Bruce McNish and David Archer.
Of course, David Archer has played in the Otago rep side for quite some time. As you see him play his third bowl, just sails through the head slightly, but is holding the shot, sitting out in front of the jack.
Yeah, representing New Zealand at the over 60s in the Trans-Tasman in late November as well. David Archer.
The Archer family, a very, very integral part of the Tyree Club in Dunedin. In fact, his wife Barbara is president of the Tyree Club, and all the Archer boys all played their lived and played their bowls at Tyree. As we watch Andrew Kelly now scoring a 2 on the first end, runs down towards the head, looks a fairly pretty good bowl here, and it's going to sit right on the jack, not quite get a touch on it. Definitely be the shot, that bowl of Andrew Kelly's. Bruce McNish, of course, now started his career on the west coast and into Canterbury, and spent a lot of time as well in Australia, and is now back on the west coast. So you watch this bowl of Bruce McNish, going to sit on the bowl. No, it's not, just goes through.
Yeah, certainly a clash of generations. This matchup, this semi-final in the men's pairs at these Summerset National Singles and Pairs.
Dave Archer, the retired David Archer from Tyree, one of the real good guys.
We've already had one men's pairs semi-final played as well. I can tell you that Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett overcame Jordan King and Nathan Glasson. Of course, we showed you Jordan King, the defending champion, earlier today in his matchup against Mike Kernahan. They won that, but they couldn't go on to win their semi-final. So Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett await the winner of this contest in tomorrow's final. And we also have the men's singles semi-final in action on this green between Ryan Burnett, the Scotsman of Broadbeach, and Nicholas Tomset Maunganui. Dean Elgar, though, is going to have to wait for tomorrow for his semi-final. He will play the winner of the next game, the next round of games between Andrew Kelly, who's in action here, and Ellie Forsyth. And we will broadcast that eagerly awaited men's quarter-final for you. And I also had some news out of the women's action as well to bring you all up to date. We will currently be having a women's singles semi-final between Caitlin Inch and Wendy Jensen take place to see who will face Joe Edwards in tomorrow's women's final. But we already know who's going to take part in the women's pairs final. Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce were already there. I can tell you that Caitlin Inch and Selena Goddard will play them after Inch and Goddard beat Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the defending champs, in their semi-final. As that end looks like it's been won by McNish.
There's a one to Bruce McNish and David Archer. And interesting that other pairs game we had before, the other one, that was Raymond Martin game over Jordan King. Well, Raymond Martin and Rob Bennett, they came back from a 13-3 deficit to get up and win that game by 2, I think, in the finish. So 1 to the Archer McNish combination. Jack's been delivered. David Archer play on his backhand, playing down towards the Papanui club, breaking down towards the head. How's that weight? It's a fairly good opening bowl from David Archer. Just goes by about a metre. Andrew Kelly reminding Bruce McNish.
I think it might have been a 2 on the opening end, so says Bruce McNish anyway, because he's updated the scoreboard as so. So we thought it was just a 1 to McNish, but 2 goes up on the scoreboard, so 2 apiece between Andrew Kelly and Bruce McNish after just 2 ends of 18 in this men's pairs semi-final.
So tomorrow we might have the lollipop people out there, Brenton.
Yes, I'd say so for the final, just to help us with our dodgy eyesight and struggling with the camera angles. We very much appreciate it. We'll certainly have them for the singles game, of course.
So here's now David Archer playing his second bowl. Looks as though it's under the line, and it is. Throws his head up. He knows he's missed his line. Ryan Burnett now, he's out taking all the winter gear off. He's out in his shirt sleeves now. So Richard Hocking, who was so impressive in that earlier game today, in the game against Taylor Horn, he certainly drew very, very well for the young Burnside lead and gave Andrew Kelly a great start on most heads. As we watch this bowl break down towards the head, and he's played another good bowl, just sits in front of the jack.
Right on cue, that one, Kevin. He just gave him a wrap and he delivered one. Pretty much level with the jack, near enough to, well within a foot.
This afternoon as well, throughout these 2 games, we'll have a couple of guest people coming in and spending some time here. Joe Edwards, who is willingly given her time up for do a stint in here with us, and also Mike Kernahan, who of course won those pairs with Dave Archer back in 2007. So it'd be great to have their comments and thoughts on things. Joe Edwards into the final tomorrow of the women's singles.
Yeah, quite incredible, her match against Serena Matthews. Was 4 apiece in the race to 21, and Joe Edwards won 21-4.
Yeah, well, 4 must be a strange number to stay on, because if we go back to that pairs game this morning, Mike Kernahan go against Jordan King. Mike Kernahan and Ryan Burnett were 4-2 up, and that's the number they stayed on.
Certainly was, as Jordan King and Nathan Glasson ran away from that moment, but they couldn't overcome Ray Martin.
So Bruce McNish saying, take some green. There's a wipe under the head. Bruce McNish won the 4s here. playing with Ryan Bester was skipping, Bruce McNish was 3, Crystal Lee 2, and Nick Butter, the son of the late Stu Butter, led. And of course at Burnside, the Stu Butter Invitation Pairs is always a great event which comes up in a couple of weeks, and Bruce McNish will be playing in that. As he looks breaking down towards the jack, is he going to just slip by under the head, and it will still be the front bowl of Richard Hocking, which is shot 2-all after 2 ends of 18. And Andrew Kelly looks to have good green here as it breaks down towards the head, and Richard Hocking urging it on, and he draws just in front of that bowl.
I don't know about you, Kevin, but it doesn't seem as blustery as it was earlier today.
No, it's not, Brenda. Certainly not as it's not buffing around as much as it was through this morning's game and some parts of this afternoon, that first game this afternoon, as we watch now Bruce McNish playing down on that backhand side, trying to get down to the shot bowl. Trying to get the jack. No, he's not. He just goes by. But the temperature hasn't really increased.
Well, I must say, it was very pleasant in between our broadcasts, just sitting out in the sun, when the
Wow,
sun
yeah,
every
it
now
was.
and then appeared out from behind the clouds, but it was few and far between. But now back in our little hovel.
Sitting out the back on the back green there, it was the sun was quite comfortable out there.
Oh, on the green, which is nice and sheltered from the wind.
So Andrew Kelly Bolt is going to do nothing there, and we'll just see. Obviously, the passes the jack over to Richard Hocking. Does David Archer?
It's just a matter of how many, isn't it? It's certainly one, at least, maybe even 2. David Archer will do the honours for us on the scoreboard to let us know. There's right on cue, just when we thought the wind had maybe died down, a big gust comes through. But Richard Hocking back with the mat and the jack. He'll place it, rolling back towards our commentary position end here at Papanui Club in Christchurch. Hope you are enjoying our coverage of the Summerset National Singles and Pairs, as it is a 3 in fact, so not just a 1 or a 2, 3 to Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking. So 5-2 they now lead after 3 of the 18 ends. This is a men's pairs semi-final. The winner to play Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett of Wellington in tomorrow's final, which will be first thing tomorrow morning.
And Jack's been delivered, and Richard Hocking made his first bowl. He's going to pull up short by a good metre. So David Archer now on the mat. Tyree player on his backhand, 5-2 to Andrew Kelly after 3 of 18 ends. And of course, out on the back green right now, we've also got the Wendy Jensen up against Caitlin Inch. That game is underway, and we'll have score updates from there as David Archer looks up at the sky trying to see, because his bowl got blown virtually sideways across the rink.
Yeah, we'll get our man who's making his way around the boards, our roving reporter Alex Reid, to get out there to the back green, which is certainly, if you're in the area, the more pleasant green to be watching from today. Not buffeted by the wind as much.
No, it's not, and let's hope tomorrow for the finals that we'll have a bit of reprieve in regards to those windy conditions out here, and we'll have a good day of finals. But of course there's one semi-final to be played in the morning. Would that be right, Brenton? Is this the
I understand that both pairs semi-finals will be played in the morning, so both men and women will be broadcasting the women's pairs final, which we already know the participants. Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce up against Caitlin Inch and Selena Goddard. That'll be a cracker.
So Dave Archer just draws the shot, sitting behind the jack.
And then depending on the outcome of this, it'll either be Andrew Kelly, obviously, if he goes well for him. He'll be playing in the final of the men's pairs. Otherwise, if he loses, he'll be playing in a semi-final of the men's singles against Dean Alger, who's done for the day. Has to wait till tomorrow to play his semi-final. Otherwise, that will be played after the pairs matches. And then we're going to get into women's singles final, which Joe Edwards is awaiting the winner of Caitlin Inch and Wendy Jensen. And then the men's singles final, which we're yet to determine any of the finalists for.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 very, very short bowls and 2 jack level bowls, and it will be the Bruce McNish, Dave Archer side who are holding shot, as the Richard Hocking, Andrew Kelly side leading by 5 shots to 2. And no doubt that with the New Zealand side about to be selected, Andrew Kelly certainly put his hand up and said, look, I want to be in that 5. We already know, I think, well, fair to say, there's a few that virtually, I'd say, picked themselves. With like Shannon McElroy, Melly Forsyth and Gary Lawson, I would imagine. And then there's some other, Mike Kernan's in the frame, of course. And Andrew Kelly has certainly continued on from his good form in the Māori Nations as he draws the shot here. He does. He sits alongside the jack. He won the, playing with Ali Forsyth and Chris Leave, won the triples, going through unbeaten. So he's put his hand up. As we know, Brenton, it was said by the selectors, wasn't it, that this particular event is a really important event for national selection. So Andrew Kelly, he certainly put his hand up, and Bruce McNish got the inside, wrong side of the Richard Hocking bowl, turned that into the head, and that'll make 2 now for the Hocking-Kelly combination, as Andrew Kelly goes to his forehand, playing up towards the clubhouse here.
I suppose that selector's job is made slightly easier by the news you gave us earlier today, which Jamie Hill's made himself unavailable for the Blackjacks.
Yeah, that changes things insofar as the numbers are concerned. So I suppose it comes down to, you know, Crystal Eve, of course, also went very, very well on the Gold Coast, but winning that gold in the triples and acquitted himself very, very well on debut for New Zealand. So I presume comes down to a couple of players, as it will with the woman as well.
Yeah, and like you say, I don't think Andrew Kelly could have done anything wrong with putting his foot forward here in this fashion, through to a semi-final and through to a quarter-final as it currently stands. And who knows, by the end of the day, it could be a final and a semi-final he's got through in the pairs and singles respectively.
So you're quite right there, Brendan. No doubt that Andrew Kelly certainly said to Philip Skoglin and Marlene Castle and Peter Bellis, as he draws another shot right alongside the jack, pick me, and he's certainly doing the job to do that, leading 5-2 and holding 3 shots here on this, the 4th end of this semi-final, as the Bruce McNish bowl trying to get up to the head, to get inside to the counting bowls. It's on a pretty good line. How's it going to sit on anything? No, it's not. It's going to go by.
So he's knocked away 1. He's knocked away 2. Now it's just a measure for the 3rd. Richard Hocking to do the honours.
And I'm pretty sure it was 3.
Yep, seemed to be what was signalled, so it should be 8-2. In fact, it is 8-2. After 4 now of the 18 ends, another 3 for Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking. So dictating the early terms in this men's pairs semi-final for the right to play Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett in tomorrow's final. We also have a men's singles semi-final on the screen. And I can let you know as well that at the moment it is Ryan Burnett, the Scot, out of the Broadbeach Club in Australia, who's leading Mount Mauganui's Nicholas Tomset, 16-10. It's in the race to 21, of course, so could very well have a Scottish international in the men's singles final to face either Dean Elgar, who awaits in the semi-final, or Andrew Kelly or Ali Forsyth, who are still waiting to play their quarter-final, which if you do stick with us, that'll be the final game we bring you today. So a marathon session, 4 games bringing you today, 3 in a row of Andrew Kelly here on Andrew Kelly TV.
Yeah, it is Andrew Kelly TV, but he's a player who, this may be the year. I said to him this morning, actually, I said this could be your year, Andrew, and he's certainly at present he's putting the flag up pretty high.
Well, he's been a very consistent player for a number of years, waiting for a elusive national title in either the singles or the pairs, and there's a great opportunity for one of those here.
He's got beaten in the final, of course, in Dunedin 2 years ago. Shannon McElroy beat Andrew in the final. Of course, he's been winner of the fours on a couple of occasions. Very, very good draw player. As you can hear that wind now really buffeting. And we have noticed on that backhand side all day, really, haven't we, Brenton, that it does, even with the wind, it is challenging the draw. If you get out a fraction wide there, it just doesn't seem to be as kind as the forehand side, which Richard Hocking is playing.
Yeah, and playing over on these rinks as well that they're playing on, and broadcast rinks, I suppose you'd call them. You know, played on number 1 earlier, did Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking, now playing on number 2. Obviously, right next to each other. Whereas you've had Bruce McNish and David Archer coming from a bit further down the green on the likes of rinks 5 and 6. And so you'd think the conditions are slightly different. More wind affecting these rinks down here. No doubt having an impact.
Certainly is, as we've seen Richard Hocking draw virtually right alongside the jack. Good response coming in from David Archer. Is it going to get all the way to the jack? Yes, it does. And gets a touch on the jack and turns it over. That'll be 1 to the McNish combination, McNish and Archer.
Yeah, it's a great bowl from David Archer. Needed as well as Kelly and Hocking. Got on a bit of a roll the last couple of ends. And we're looking at a pretty handy position, or handier position anyway, this end, until that bowl from Archer.
So here's now Andrew Kelly, definitely one down on the head and playing down on that backhand side. Gonna get to the shot bowl. Got to be under that shortish bowl, which it is. To sit inside, just might have had a wee bit too much weight to get that result on that line, but was certainly in the target area. Bruce McNish now on his backhand, trailing 8-2 after 4 of the 18 ends, but holding the shot, as we see. Bruce McNish has gone very much on the wide side. We spoke about before, if you just do get out there too far on that width, you just won't get the draw back. So here's now Andrew Kelly again. One down. He's on a tighter line this time. He's breaking down towards the shot bowl, and it's on a good line, or just going to skip underneath. He turns the bowl over. He can make shot of it. Just went past. Bruce McNish, holder of 6 New Zealand titles, Trying to get down to sit on the Richard Hocking bowl, or David Archer bowl. Doesn't want to turn the jack over as well. Just goes by.
Yeah, I think he's very much trying to sit on the Richard Hocking bowl. Didn't quite get the line right. You can see with that weight, he's trying to sit on that red Richard Hocking bowl, which is just past the jack. We'll get another opportunity. Andrew Kelly will play next. Walking backwards down the green as he gets some directions from his lead, Richard Hocking. Eventually, I think they've said they're going to change or play at least on the forehand.
Try and get down to the bowl or the movement of the jack, more than likely from the mat. Andrew Kelly can see that jack. That's what he's trying to do, get down to the shot bowl or the jack. Breaking down towards there now and just going to run into the front bowl of Richard Hocking, and then fell over the bowl, and obviously holding the one. You can see on the monitor the David Archer bowl just about locked right on top of the jack. So certainly one to the Archer McNish combination.
Unless you can somehow add a second here, it's not to be. So 1-2 Bruce McNish and David Archer. It's now Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking 8, McNish and Archer 3 after 5 of the 18 ends. The wind, which it relented somewhat, not as strong as it was, still been becoming a bit more persistent.
And that temperature, I think, has dropped again. But
well, I think especially when where we are broadcasting from, we don't get any sun.
None at all.
And so when you're outside there on the green, it's, you know, I was sitting greenside before watching the early stages of the men's singles semi-final, and it was quite lovely out there. Well, it wasn't exactly balmy, but it was comfortable, and a little hovel not so.
David Archer playing his first bowl on this, the 16, goes by about a metre and a bit on that backhand side, and Richard Hocking, the Burnside club, he'll follow that up on his backhand. Been very consistent today as Richard Hocking, and again we're going to see that now from Hocking, just going to draw level with the jack and just goes by, gets a puff, and it moves by at least another metre past the head. So Dave Archer now trailing 8-3 is David Archer and Bruce McNish. He certainly put it out on a good wide line to get draw out of it, that's for sure. And how far is it going to come back with the weight? And will likely finish around jack level, but a metre out from the jack, but certainly gave it good green. So Richard Hocking, of course, has played for the New Zealand age group development side, and very, very consistent draw player, and was part of the Canterbury side, of course, that won the inter-centre last year, leading in the fours as he draws just in behind or alongside the jack, gets another roller out of it and sits virtually jack level, only centimetres away. And I'm just going to, in about a moment, get Alex when he comes past here, and we'll go and get hold of Joe Edwards, who's kindly okayed to come and have a chat with us, with Brenton here. And second shot will be secured by David Archer. Just got a touch off his bowl and made it definitely the second shot.
Yeah, I've got Alex finding out what's happening in the women's singles semi-final as well for us. So he's a busy man, a little man roving reporter.
Well, he's been doing a couple of updates on Radio Sport this afternoon as well. He's
yeah, that's semi-final, of course, happening in the singles between Caitlin Inch and Wendy Jensen, which is ongoing on the green behind us. So we're unable to give you any updates ourselves, so we're relying on others. I can tell you in the men's singles semi-final, which is happening right alongside us, between Ryan Burnett of Broadbeach and Nicholas Tomset of Mount Maunganui. It is Burnett, the Scotsman, who is leading 18-12 in the race to 21.
Of course, he'll await the winner of that game. The Burnett game has to now wait for the two other matches that need to be played.
Yeah, he's got no idea who he'll be playing.
No.
Could it be Dean Alger? Could it be Andrew Kelly? Could it be Ali Forsyth?
Here's now Bruce McNish trying to get to the jack. He's got the jack clean and moved it back. He'll make two shots of that now. Magnificent bowl there by Bruce McNish. Just drew down, got a touch on the jack. Made two of it. Indication from Andrew Kelly. So Richard Hocking to Andrew Kelly. Play down through the port.
Scores coming through of that women's singles semi-final, and it's all Caitlin Inch in the race to 21 over Wendy Jensen, 10-0. She leads Wendy Jensen. Caitlin Inch 10-0 in the race to 21. And she's certainly making a race of it, looking like she wants to get a rematch there, Kevin, against Joe Edwards.
Yes, she certainly does. And as you and I saw, Brenton over on the Gold Coast, a player now who is very, very much an integral part of the Blackjacks women's side. Skipped the triples, skipped the fours, and is certainly now joins Joe Edwards and Val Smith really as true international player for sure. So holding two is David Archer and Bruce McNish. Andrew Kelly again trying to force down the line that forehand to get to either turn over the bowl or get to the...
I think it was maybe only just that 1.5 rolls too much, but not a bad effort, that's for sure. Now, it's still leaving all for Andrew Kelly to do. The last bowl of this, the sixth end.
So Kelly persist again down on that forehand, trying to get down to one of the two shot bowls or get to the jack. He's playing with a lot of weight this time to try and get to the jack clean, and he'll get one of the Bruce McNish bowls out of the head, which was counting, and he did. So that'll be a 1 to the Archer McNish combination.
Yeah, the experienced pairing make it now 8-4. Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking their lead. We're now completed 6 of the 18 ends, a third of the way through this contest. Men's pairs semi-final for the right to play Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett in tomorrow's title decider.
So Jack's been delivered by Dave Archer from the Tyree Club, Dunedin. Of course, Tyree was headquarters a couple of years ago, and that in fact was where Joe Edwards and Caitlin Inch did battle in the final of the men's singles, the women's singles, and the men's singles. The final was actually between Andrew Kelly and Shannon McElroy.
Yeah, quite remarkable if we somehow managed to get 3 of the 4 finalists from that tournament, what, 2 years ago. Yeah, incredible.
So David Archer, and it's all over in the Ryan Burnett match.
So Ryan Burnett, I can only assume he had a big lead, has taken that out. So Ryan Burnett out of Broadbeach in Australia, the Scotsman, beating Mount Maunganui's Nicholas Tomset, and now he is through to the men's singles final tomorrow. Of course, Caitlin Inch is his partner, so he'll no doubt have wanted to finish nice and quick so he can go cheer on Caitlin Inch, who so far is making short work of her singles semi-final against Wendy Jensen. We've seen a good bowl from Richard Hocking.
Good opening bowl from Richard Hocking. And I'll just organise to go and get Jo Edwards to come and sit in here with Brenton.
Although she may want to watch the rest of the singles semi-final.
Either her or Mike Kernahan will get.
As Kevin Hicklin is making his way into the club rooms. As Richard Hocking draws another one, and this time a toucher. It's gonna not exactly, I think, what he was after. As Jack hasn't stayed with his bowl. As you can see there, Richard Hocking bowl trailing past the Jack. And now nothing really close. He did have a bowl within a foot. Now we're in a big target for David Archer to play to. Playing on his backhand side, which as we've seen, been a quite tricky side. And I think David Archer has found just that again. Obviously he had to play out a bit wider because of where the Jack is. But out that wide it's hard to bring it back, especially with the wind buffeting the green here at Papanui Club in Christchurch. So that Archer bowl just ended up pretty much right where in front of Andrew Kelly. So he's obstructing the view of that bowl. Now Richard Hocking quickly about his work, remaining on the forehand side. He had a pretty good line last time. This time he's going to run into his first bowl. So it's difficult to tell exactly who's holding shot, because after that toucher from Hocking, nothing too close. A bit of a wry smile from Kelly to Hocking as the exchange ends. McNish to play first in this 7th end. Champion in the pairs way back in 1994. His pairs partner David Archer, a champion 13 years later in 97. And Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking both seeking an opportunity to try and win their first pairs title. Andrew Kelly already a couple of fours titles. Of course, played for New Zealand, Andrew Kelly, as recent as the Trans-Tasman late last year, following on from the multi-nations as well. As he too finding a bit of difficulty on that wider line, though, gets a rather fortuitous touch off that wide Archer bowl. That should be good enough for shot now. McNish again looks narrow with his line, playing with a bit of weight, trying to, if he can, get a bit of a touch and promote that Archer bowl, but comes inside that. And Kelly quickly back to work again, just looking for a bit of a correction on that backhand side. This looks a better line. Richard Hocking's urging it on. Does it have the weight? Well, it was on a great track, but a couple of feet short in weight. Not finding the Jack. McNish, as one just goes around the back, there's still one bowl to be played from Andrew Kelly, and this is the 7th end of 18. As we welcomed Jo Edwards to the commentary box, so I'm sure you're very happy to join our little cold little corner of of the bowling club here, Joe. Firstly, congratulations on making it through to a national final. I suppose talk us through it all.
Yeah, look, it's obviously pretty tricky conditions today. It's been pretty nice for the last 3 or 4 days, so to wake up this morning with the howling wind, a little bit disappointing, because I think when you get to the nitty-gritty stage of a tournament, you kind of want it to be nice and kind of may the best bowls win, where, in these conditions it becomes a bit of a lottery, and you just hope that your horrible bowls go a bit closer than their ones.
Yeah, you must be very pleased then how you did cope with that, given that Serena Matthews had a game in those conditions before you played, of course, her quarter-final. So for you to deal with that and in the end run away with it, must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, it was. It's always an advantage, I think, if you get to play a game. I came down a bit early and had probably close to an hour of practice, but it's still not the same as playing. So the mindset, I was quite amazed with myself, actually. It's the wind didn't get to me like it has before, and it was almost like all care, no responsibility. Line up, let it go. If the wind catches it, tough. And yeah, luckily it worked for me today. Yeah, I think I picked the right side of the rink early and didn't play a lot of bowls down the really severely affected side. So I think that certainly helps.
Yeah, 3 there for Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking. So they now extend their advantage, 11-4 after 7 of the 18 ends. Of course, you've been playing behind our commentary position, where it's slightly more sheltered, I assume. You expect if it's like this tomorrow, it might be a bit different for you in the final?
Look, it's probably running a little bit quicker as well out the front, which makes it a little bit harder as well. So with the wind, I hope that it dies down overnight and we get a nice day tomorrow, for everyone concerned, really.
Yeah, and I think by the way it was going, possibility it's going to be Caitlin Inch, a strong possibility in the final. You had a pretty good final against her a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Looking forward to that if it does happen.
Oh, look, it's just great to be in the final again, and people keep asking who you'd rather play, and I don't get into that kind of conversation. It's everyone that makes the finals kind of going pretty good. They've done well to get there, so it's going to be a hell of a tough game anyway.
And she's certainly grown, hasn't she, over those last 2 years?
Look, and as a bowler, as a person, she's matured so much. It was a hell of a big thing she did. Moving to Australia, first time out of home. He's got a partner now, and she really has grown up, and she's a good kid, a real good kid. I really like her, and her bowls have improved out of sight in the last couple of years.
Well, speaking of her partner, Ryan Burnett, through to the final of the men's singles as well. Quite a family affair it's going to be tomorrow. You're going to try and spoil that?
Definitely, it's I know we're good mates, but you're just trying to win a game of bowls at the end of the day.
Of course, we didn't see you at the Nationals last year, but pretty much the selectors made it pretty clear they wanted a lot of the top players to be there if they can for these Nationals. What does it mean? Obviously a big commitment for players like yourself coming from across the Tasman to play in the Nationals. What does it mean to not only play in the Nationals but potentially play for a national title again? Yeah,
look, in a perfect world, I think everyone that wants to play for New Zealand should be at the Nationals. However, what's asked of you for when you make the New Zealand team, it's a big sacrifice, not only financially but emotionally. Your partners, your work, everything kind of suffers for you to kind of follow your dream. So, like I say, in a perfect world you should be here, but it's just so hard because it's all self-funded. We don't get paid to play for New Zealand, and it certainly costs a lot of money to play all the events for New Zealand. So it's a bit of a catch-22. You should be, but sometimes you just can't do it all.
Yeah, and you should know more than anyone. In fact, you do know more than anyone because you've played more games for New Zealand than anyone. Was it 620?
I think it's about 630.
Was it 630
now? It was 610 leading into the Multi-Nations Trans-Tasman. So, yeah. God, who'd have thought, eh?
And we're getting an update as well. So it's 17-0. Caitlin Inch now leading Wendy Jensen in the women's singles semi-final in the race 221. So very much looking like Joe Edwards will be playing Caitlin Inch in that women's singles final, of course, tomorrow for the title. It's finals day here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. And we see Bruce McNish preparing to play towards our commentary position end. Andrew Kelly slightly obscuring the screen, but looks like at the moment McNish, the blue bowls of David Archer, especially one of them, will be shot bowl. Just trying to add to the count. Some work to do for Andrew Kelly, although in a much more comfortable position with that 7-shot lead. It's been a big day for Andrew Kelly. Still got a men's singles quarterfinal to come as well against Ellie Forsyth, which we will have for you later on today once this is all completed. Obviously, Joe, you're used to days like this where you play 3-4 times a day for both New Zealand and in big tournaments like this, as that bowl just slides by from Andrew Kelly, but unfortunate there. How do you manage it and to maintain that high level?
Oh, look, at national tournament, you want to be playing as many games as you can on the last couple of days. You know, it means you're still playing. So I don't think anyone would ever moan about playing 3 or 4 games today. You know, it's the nature of the beast. It's a national tournament, and yeah, you know, as long as you win, you keep playing. So it gets a bit awkward if one player's in both disciplines, that it's doing really well, like Potter and Caitlin. But I think the people around them understand that, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, Ellie, I was talking to Ellie before, and he's totally aware that, you know, it could be 5 o'clock start for the singles game, but hey, that's like I say, you'd rather be playing at 5 o'clock than not.
Do you think it helps likes of yourself over some of the less experienced players at international level when you're used to playing the more games or waiting like Ali has had to?
Look, for sure, but to be fair, New Zealanders, they generally play a lot during the day anyway. You know, my club at home in Nelson, we would play 4 games of singles on the Saturday, 3 games of pairs on the Sunday. You know, over in Australia, you don't play that volume of games, and when you do go away and play for New Zealand or at a World Bowls or whatever, it becomes a little bit tricky because you're not bowls fit. You know, you can do all the fitness work physically, but playing bowl after bowl, hour after hour, it is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. But you know, the people I think of New Zealand, they're used to playing a lot of bowls. So, but it for Ali's point of view, you know, playing one game at 5 o'clock, yeah, you've got to get your head right. You almost have to go away from the green to come back. You know, almost, you know, because he was here early thinking that he was playing at a certain time, and they changed the schedule, which happens. So sometimes I think it's better to go home, almost have a wee nap, get up, have a shower, start again, kind of thing. Yeah, it's like you've started the day and you're going down to play again bowls. So yeah, it's how you handle things off the green as well as on the green too.
Yeah, and in a match as well, can you switch on and off? Is that important to do? Is it really hard to stay super intense on it for 3 hours?
Geez, I'm not that clever to do that, I tell you. No, I certainly have a switch. You know, turn on, turn off. I talk to the crowd. I look at things, and as soon as I pick the bowl up, it's like, right, there's 15 seconds of concentration needed. Away it goes. Then I turn off again. You know, you can't physically, you know, you're playing 9 hours a day sometimes. You cannot be concentrating and alert for that amount of time. So, you know, I've learned how to switch on, switch off.
Yeah, certainly a key skill for the top players, as Bruce McNish and Dave Archer have got the mat back, picking up a few on that previous end. So 11-6 now after 8 of the 18 ends. It's the men's pairs semi-final for the right to play Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett of Wellington in tomorrow's men's pairs final. Of course, already had McNish, a winner in 1994, David Archer, a winner in 2007, trying to add another, but trying to add a first pairs title to their resumes, national pairs title that is both Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking. And you got a new club, I believe. Is that the case as well? You can probably a chance to tell us about them. We've seen the new shirt,
new kit. Yeah, it's pretty.
How's
pretty
it all
impressive.
come about?
Yeah, look, got approached, and yeah, another challenge, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's the Queensland Premier League's a hell of a competition. You know, one week you're playing Ryan Bester, the next you're playing Aaron Sheriff, and as a female playing in it, it's a hell of a gauge to where you're at as a bowler, not as a woman bowler or a man, and so you've kind of got to just be up every week, and it's a really good competition. It's tough as you're playing on different greens every week, and it's really weird on a Saturday night trying to prepare for one game at 5 o'clock, which is like Ellie. But it's it's like the old adage, you just got to try and jump onto the speed of the green as quick as you can, and had a good opportunity with the Inogra Eagles, and they've welcomed me on board, and we've got our first game on Saturday afternoon.
Fantastic. We can't wait to see that. Hopefully they welcome you in with a national title, all going well. Of course, Jo Edwards in the final of the women's singles. We will see. That Queensland Premier League, how much do you think that has helped develop you and improve you as a player to where you are now?
I think it's, since going to Australia, it has improved my game mentally, as well as the actual art of playing the game. I think because the population of Australia is so huge, it's the general club bowlers over there are really good on that speed of green too. You play a lot of speed, 13, 14, and the jack gets moved a lot, and so it changes all the time. It is. It's been really good. Playing with and against the men a lot too, which also helps, I think, your ability, and because you just got to play well. You don't play well, you kind of get cut the next week, and that's not much fun for anyone.
Certainly not, as McNish doesn't like that one. It shakes his head at the top of the mat as that one comes under the line. Andrew Kelly trying to extend this advantage over Bruce McNish. As I mentioned, it's been a big long day for Andrew Kelly so far. This is the third match. Started out in the round of 16 of the men's pairs. He's had a quarter-final. They won both of them. Now a semi-final. And he'll also have a quarter-final in the men's singles against Ali Forsyth, as Jo Edwards was mentioning earlier. We will have coverage of that match for you up next. Once this game does finish, of course, this is an 18-end affair. McNish that time hanging it out, but too far on that forehand side, as the wind just has seemingly lulled just for a moment, maybe just luring the players in.
Yeah, but to be fair, Potter's one of the fitter blokes around. There's certainly more fat on a chip, really. He's a lean, mean fighting machine. He won't be having a problem with playing this amount of bowls.
No, he's made for this.
Yeah.
And like you say, the top players at this time in the tournament just want to keep playing, because that means they keep winning.
Yeah.
This is the time where you want to be playing. So just going to have a bit of an inspection here.
I think they're 4, if not 5 down here.
Yeah.
It's a big turning point of the game here, or not a turning point, but certainly stamp your authority on it if they were to pick up a 4 or 5 here.
Yeah, certainly. That's why Bruce McNish has taken his time over it. So he's had a quick chat with David Archer. Now just walk backwards to the mat, assessing the situation. Great to see these players still making it this far in a tournament. 94, his last Peers title, Bruce McNish, a former New Zealand player. Now can he get it right with his third bowl? Otherwise he could be dropping a number here. Looks like
to land that red one.
Line. Oh, it's just gonna get the outside of that red bowl of Richard Hocking. So he might have cut the count. But likewise, Andrew Kelly can probably see that bowl and try and get rid of it.
I think he'll just be drawing for 4 here.
Yeah.
Not a lot of risk. I think it's only worth probably one more if he gets it, so less risky shot, drawing a shot.
Yeah, he's a very, very good player, playing the percentages as well, Andrew Kelly. And this is a fair draw as well. just what he needed. 1, 2, 3 knocked away. I think that should be 4 as well, just judging by our screen. But they're going to get Richard Hocking down on his knees to have a look at everything. Yeah, the wind's been buffeting the commentary box. Sometimes, some parts of the day, Joe, I felt like this has actually been the windiest part of the whole venue.
Yeah. Well, you're stuck in a little corner here, eh? There's nowhere for it to go.
No sun either.
You just picked up a 5 there.
That is a big, big end for Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking, so it just shows how important that last bowl from Bruce McNish was. Not able to sit on that Hocking bowl. It's just took the outside of it, slid past, and now it's a 10-shot game. Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking 16 over Bruce McNish and David Archer 6, and we're halfway through this 18-end affair. As Joe, you can just leave us whenever you want to, or you can keep going, whatever you want to do. It's an absolute pleasure to have you in commentary.
Oh, I think my fellow Liverpool supporter should be along shortly.
Oh, you're both Liverpool supporters.
Of course we are.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've never talked about that. That's great.
Yeah, and a big shout out to John Quinn if you're listening. How's Tottenham going, pal?
He will be listening, I'm sure.
He's holidaying up at Kaiteria, I think, at the moment. So, yes, enjoying himself up in top of the south.
Yeah, part of the high performance team at Bowls New Zealand. It's a great role to play within the Blackjacks. How much has the mental skills work become a part of bowls now, especially at that highest level?
Yeah, it is big. I mean, it's amazing. You ask anyone about this game and how much is mental, how much is physical, and generally the answers range from 70-30 mental, 80-20 mental, and yet you ask them, you know, how many times do you go for practice? Oh, 3 or 4 times a week. How long do you practice your mental skills? Oh, no, none. So it's it really is. He annoys me sometimes because he just simplifies everything. Like you walk in with a head full of rubbish, and you walk out like floating on a cloud, like life's good, you know. Yeah, I think we all wind ourselves up about things, and I think one of his favourite comments is, 94% of the things we worry about never happen, and that with this game, which is such a precision, repetitive kind of a game, those things that screw with your mind really affect how you play. So he just simplifies things and talks you through about, you're not weird if you feel this way or that way, and everyone goes through it. So no, he's a big part of our team for sure.
Big part of the Crusaders as well, John Quinn, with his mental skills work as well, and no doubt part of that preparation, Joe, will be wanting to have another crack at the Aussies, the Trans-Tasman, in about 4 weeks' time.
Oh, look, yeah, it'd be nice to be named in that and have another crack at them. Yeah, we
don't want to talk about tie breaks again, do you? Really?
Tie breaks. we
Shot
won
differential.
Yes, that's
that
more
was
the
word.
point.
Yeah.
We won more games than them and lost the series. So, but I still think we punch well above our weight, and to get more games off the Aussies and to lose 2 tests by 3 shots, I think it really stands us in good stead for the World Bowls, and it's always you want to get one over your mates from Australia, but we know that it's a hell of a tough job to do, so get another crack at them, it would be great.
Good bowl that from David Archer, just sitting inside the Richard Hocking bowl to have the shot as the skips now make their way to the mat. Nice smile from Archer as he makes his way back down the other end. One of the nice guys of get down week by week, month by month.
Look, it depends if my name comes out on Thursday. If it doesn't, then nothing's really about World
I think there'll be some serious questions asked by all and sundry if your name is not the Trans-Tasman team.
Yeah, don't take anything for granted, but look, it is. It's all about, you have to play, but playing too much isn't good, not playing enough. So I get home from the Nationals and just plot the next 5-6 months and just gauge the playing, how many times you play in a week and a month, and do you need more, do you need less, try and find tournaments, not playing tournaments, you just got to gauge what works for you, and so I'll be doing that when I get home from the Nationals.
Fantastic. We very much look forward to that. Of course, it's fast approaching now. Seems like it's been a while away, but now just a matter of months. Of course, we've got the Trans-Tasman, start of February. It's the last real big international event before the World Bowls Championships. End of May, early June. On the Gold Coast again. You're not getting sick of travelling to the Gold Coast yet, Joe?
No, it's only an hour and a half down the road now, so it's pretty good. The greens are good down there, and we've played plenty of times down there, so we know what to expect, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. Just need those selectors to write my name down. We'll be right.
Yeah, I think there'd be quite some investigation if there isn't one Joe Edwards in the team sheet, and it's named. I think in a couple of days' time, I think you might find out tomorrow, Joe, whether you're in or not, and then the public, I think, are going to find out on Thursday as to who is representing the Blackjacks in the Trans-Tasman, as the women in particular look to break that deadlock, losing 2 of the tests, unfortunately, on shot differential, after winning the other, to lose the Trans-Tasman overall rather cruelly.
I've just started to forget it, but thanks for bringing it up again.
Sorry, I should have done that once you left. You can blame Kearney on that one, for not relieving you in time.
Look, Kearney gets blamed for a lot, so we may as well just throw this one on him too.
All right, done. That one's going to come up well short, but it's not going to matter. So 1 picked up there by McNish and Archer. After now 10 of the 18 ends of this contest. And needed as well, after dropping a 5 on the previous, to give Kelly and Hocking a lot of breathing space. You would have been in these situations before, Joe. It's just all about each end at a time, claw your way back, and then if you take the game deep, you never know what happens.
Oh, for sure. There's still 8 ends to go in this game, and in these blustery conditions, it's really easy to drop a 3 or a 4. One side manages to find at that end, and you don't. It can turn very, very quickly, and also while you're scoring, the opposition isn't as well. So it still gives you a chance.
We've got the final result of that women's singles semi-final between Caitlin Inch and Wendy Jensen as well. 21-3 to Caitlin Inch. So it will be Caitlin Inch against Joe Edwards tomorrow. Do you know when you're playing it? Are you after the Piers? Is that my understanding?
Yeah, I think so. It's about 11:30, I've been told.
So I suppose it's all started. Do you actually think much about your opponent when you prepare, or was it all about what you're doing?
I think it's generally more about me. Look, Caitlin's, whoever was going to be your opponents is going to play good, so rather than, I think, sometimes trying to stuff their game plan up, you can do it to yourself too. So I won't be changing my game plan, just trying to get them close, and just end by end trying to work out what the best shot selection is, and just go from there. It's you can go in with preconceived ideas, you go in with game plans, but you still got to be really, really flexible to be able to change them if something's not working, and or they get on to a certain length and all that. I can hear Mike Kernahan with a rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone, which is my cue to go.
Well, thank you very much, Joe Edwards.
Very well, you should get a...
Sorry, I just muted you out. Sorry, I didn't mean to mute you. You continue talking about Liverpool if you want. Here's your chance. Oh, you're on now.
Okay. Yes, no, he sings a very good version of the first verse of You'll Never Walk Alone.
So you want him to open with that?
I think you should get onto that.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe Edwards. double Commonwealth Games gold medalists in the women's singles, the Glasgow and Gold Coast Games. Has been relieved by Mike Kernahan, one Liverpool fan for another. How will I suffer for the next 8 ends of this match?
We're not going to be here that long, mate.
Oh, you're not going to give us that much of your time then?
No, but I don't think we're going to get 8 ends in, are we?
No, well, I don't know. Dave Archer and Dave McNish just got one in the last. They're going to be fighting and keep in this contest. And as you know, having played out there not too long ago, this win can do silly things and make it pretty difficult for you out there.
Yeah, it can. It's just a shame on such important games that it's decided to blow so hard today. You know? But same for both teams. This morning when we got smashed. so it is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what Joe Edwards was talking about as well. It's really disappointing to have this kind of weather, and rather than just being about who's got the better bowls, the wind can play a big role. And Andrew Kelly knows as much as well, because he's been in these conditions for the whole day.
Yeah.
His third straight match, and he's still got a men's singles quarter final to go as well.
Yeah, Ali Forsyth, so that'll be a good game too.
Yeah, it certainly will. That'll be our third match of Andrew Kelly TV, which we'll be bringing to you today. Andrew Kelly against Ali Forsyth, the two blackjacks.
Not bad here, is he? Just come up short. Thought he was better than that.
Yeah, not quite the weight. Looks on a decent line. Yeah, did you learn anything from playing out there this morning that you think you could take anything from? You know, with what you could do maybe different playing in this weather, or was just one of those games you just bin?
Oh, you just bin it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and one team generally gets it and the other team struggles, and that's what happened to us. And it looks, I haven't seen much of this game, to be fair. I've just been watching Caitlin Inch. I mean, out there, Caitlin Inch has played, that's her third game today, and she's played Wendy Jensen, whose first game today, because she's sat down, waited all day, and Caitlin's beaten a 21-2 semi-final women's singles, and they're both New Zealand players, so great goal from Andrew there.
Yeah, so you get the feeling then it's going to be pretty tough for Ali up next against Andrew.
If it's still blowing, it's, yeah.
It has died a bit, isn't it? It's not as bad as it was when you were playing.
No, but it's still doing enough to cause problems. Bruce needs to be close with this one.
Yeah, they dropped a 5 last time down this end.
Yeah, well, he's 2 or 3 down this time by the looks of it, I think.
Yeah, not looking good for McNish again. Another big number coming for Andrew Kelly.
Yeah.
Still got a bowl to play, of course. Well, given that we haven't been able to see any of the women's action on the back green, obviously apart from the fact that Caitlin had all that experience having played in the conditions, how did she play?
No, she played all right. Yeah, and look, it's a bit more sheltered out the back too. It's still, there's still bowls being affected by the wind, but it doesn't appear to be as much as here. And maybe that green's maybe a second and a half slower as well, which would help. This green's quick, and so the amount of wind that's on it, it makes it doubly difficult.
You must be pretty proud of your Piers partner as well.
Oh, he's going good. He went good in the 2 singles games.
Yeah, where was he in the Piers game?
Maybe he just doesn't like playing with me.
Oh.
All right. Andrew.
It should be enough for another, is it?
Maybe.
Just got the weight. Oh.
Dave's only taken 1 out, so it's a measure for about 12, I think. It's either 1 or 5.
It's quite a big measure as well. Yeah. Might need some assistance. Always find it a bit rude when the younger player makes the older player go down and do the measuring. I don't know how you feel.
Well, those 2 ones out the side aren't in, so this will be interesting. Might only be 1.
Yeah, I think it might have just been just the 1.
Wow,
remarkably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not as fatal as it may have been, we thought initially from Bruce McNish, but still another one for the Kelly combination with Hocking. and another end passes by. So 11 now completed of the 18 in this men's pairs semi-final for the right to play Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett tomorrow. So we already know the women's finalists for both the pairs and the singles. And the pairs will be Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce taking on Caitlin Inch and Selena Goddard, and then Caitlin Inch will back up in the women's singles final against Jo Edwards, the two-time defending Commonwealth Games champion. And Caitlin Inch has been quite incredible, getting through to 2 finals, and Andrew Kelly looking to see if he can do the same. This would be part 1 done.
Yep.
And he's got a
Handy
quarter-final.
Handy starter from Richard there.
Yeah, it certainly was.
And you're a bit rugged up too. It's not that warm sitting here, is it?
When you're not moving, it's funny that, eh?
Yeah.
When you're not moving, the blood's not moving, it can be quite cold, and we don't really see the sun in our little hole either. I would have thought, you've been a proud Otago boy though, you've been nice and comfortable in this kind of
It's never
weather.
this cold down in Dunedin.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you're laughing. Beautiful. Kevin Hicklin's just moved all of our paraphernalia there, so now I can't tell what's going on. Thanks, Kevin.
No, you can't doodle.
Can't doodle, can't do anything. Richard looks to be a bit... Oh, I thought he was a bit tight, but he's actually played a bomb there. Very good. That's handy in these conditions.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. Pretty much if you're within a metre, you basically say you're within a foot. If you're within a foot, it's pretty much a toucher.
Yep.
In this kind of
Exactly.
weather. Because it's not been easy. Yeah. You do feel for the players, unfortunately, it's not what we really want in the business end of a competition. To have the wind play such a major role. We can only hope that it dies out overnight. And
Well,
isn't
it's
here
supposed
tomorrow.
to. It's supposed to later on this afternoon, which
Okay.
would be great. There, Archer's, oh, he's just going to slip through, I think. Very good effort.
Yeah, again, not bad considering these conditions from David Archer. We had Jo Edwards saying, in her typical modesty, that she's, just anxiously awaiting the selection of the Blackjack squad for the Trans-Tasman. I assume it is something more realistically you're awaiting to see if you're in, and hopefully part of that Trans-Tasman team on the Gold Coast next month.
Well, yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? But who knows? Look, the selectors, the boys, Chris Lalever and Andrew Kelly went pretty good at the 8 Nations, so we'll just see what the selectors think. So I think Jo will probably struggle to get in.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not playing very well. No, well, I think, look, it's going to be interesting. I think in both the men and the women, there are 3 certainties in each, and then you're looking at what's going to make up the bowl from Dave here. Good boy. Dave and I won the pairs back in 1928.
Otherwise known as 2007.
Yeah, so Dave's going good.
Bruce
Nice.
McNish won at 94 though.
Did he? Wow. It's not bad.
I don't know if Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking have thought about bowls back in 1994.
Well, I
I'd
don't know
say
whether
not.
either of them were born. Yeah, no, I think you've got, in the woman, I think you've got Jo, Val and Caitlin are certainties, and then they've got 2 more to pick. And in the men, I think you've got Gary, Ellie and Shannon, and you've got 2 more boys to pick. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, in some ways slightly easier for the selectors, only having to fill those 2 roles, but there's a few people in
Great
contention for those 2 roles for both the men and women.
Yeah, there are. Great effort from Andrew there, just slipped the bowl rather than sitting on it. Only finished a foot or so behind.
McNish on the backhand side. Can just come inside that wide bowl of Hocking's, using that almost as a line. Unfortunately, he's going to run into it. It'll sit almost jack level, not in the worst spot. Kelly trying to draw back to the breeze, which has died down somewhat. Still gusting though at times, making it difficult for the players
Not a
out
great
here.
track here. Just didn't have the, not quite
quite the weight. A metre short. It certainly looks to be, yeah, a great line towards the jack.
Brucey looks to be a bit tight here. Depends whether he gets a sit on something, gets a rub, not quite. Oh dear, oh no, he's giving it away.
That's not what he wanted. Perhaps a bit of an overcorrection there from his previous, which he hung out a bit too wide, coming a bit too narrow that time, and all he did was promote the Kelly bowl onto the one of Archer, and now that will be Kelly with the shot.
Yeah, it's the last thing you need when you're 17-7 down.
Yeah, it's to be giving the opposition shots, that's for sure.
And he's on a good line again here. He's just going to come up a tad short again, but look, 3 pretty decent bowls from Andrew there, to be fair. All within 2.5 feet.
Yeah, certainly again in these conditions. So we're going to see some weight played by McNish.
This is dangerous. If he gets this wrong, he missed everything.
Yeah, no damage done in the end as the drive comes up empty. So it should be one more to Andrew Kelly.
2.5 feet.
Yeah, certainly again. After 12 of the 18 ends, so 2/3 of the way through the contest.
So Kevin's, I see there's some binoculars here, so clearly he's hard of sight now at his age. And is that so you can see the ends down here or the far away?
Yes, that's the one which is a few metres away.
Yeah.
It's quite sad actually. You are not so hard of sight though, I take it.
Well,
Mike's still sharp as.
Clearly not to see a game of bowls, but
I think it's just to spot people coming into the venue. Make sure
brilliant bowl from Richard Hocking, front toucher. Like that's the last thing you need when you're 18-7 down. That was happening to us this morning. It just got worse and worse. So I think Bruce and Dave should just pull a hanky out at this point.
I did enjoy the ironic hands in the air that you gave when you finally got one. When something finally happened that went your way.
Yeah.
In your contest earlier this morning in the quarterfinals of the men's pairs. It's not the worst reply either really from Dave Archer, but always going to be struggling to play catch up against that first bowl of Richard Hocking, and that's what he was doing earlier today as well in their quarterfinal.
No, he's a good lead. He's a good young lad too. So pleased for him if they can keep it going. He's tried to get one round the back there. It wasn't his best.
So we know you went out in the quarterfinals of the pairs. What happened here in the singles post-section play yesterday?
Well, all the viewers will get sick of me talking about it. It was blowing a gale at Burnside, and it was something similar. I got to 15. I won my first term. Lost 21-15 to Chad Young, I think is last name. Chad Grant, sorry. In the third game, and well, he just played it better than me. It was actually quite a good game to be fair, but it was blowing harder than it has been here today. So again, a bowl within a yard was going to be the shot, and he just got more inside a yard than I did. So not too disappointed really, because I was going all right, and probably too good a bowl from Richard there. He's put it just jack low, so opportunity for Dave to play off the yard.
Yeah, try and get rid of both.
Could do, or could get a disturbance of some sort, which is what Bruce would hope he would get with this bowl.
Yeah, let's see what Dave Archer can do.
He's certainly playing with weight, and he's in the area, I think. He's played this.
It's just going to come under the line.
Dear. I thought he was better than that, to be fair.
Well, it certainly looked good out of the hand.
Yeah.
Then went rapidly under the line.
Yeah, well, the greens are so quick that once they do start to turn, they're really, even on the tight hand. You know, we noticed this morning if you played inside the line, even though it was tight, the one was trying to keep them out, they still went pretty quick.
So now Andrew Kelly is looking to get a bit of cover around the back, I think.
That's a very, very good bowl, that. That's almost like directly where the bowl's going. Oh, Bruce is trying for the kill here. And gets
And
it.
does
Good
kill.
shot.
And they will replay. So well executed. They had 3 opportunities there. Took the first, Bruce McNish. So we will replay this, the 13th end. It remains 18-7. Kelly and Hocking over McNish and Archer. How much is Kevin Hicklin paying for you for this stint of commentary? Is he giving him a massive break? He's probably got a couple of meals in, a couple of cups of coffee.
Well, it's unfortunate that he's so old now that he just can't handle the day out in the green. So I actually feel sorry for him, poor old fella. Because he'd be 85 this year, won't he?
I think so, yeah.
So, you know, he can't handle a full day. It's a shame, but not a bad sort of a rooster.
A few changes in your work life as well, Mike.
Yeah, well, sort of, well, not sort of. So I have decided to to resign from my role, but I'll still be doing 3 months while we wait for the new CE to come on deck, and then I've got a day a week doing some other work for the Kent side. He has a trading arm which does all the sunscreen and sunglasses and sun hats and stuff. So I'll do a day a week for them for 6 months, and I'm too poor, can't afford to retire fully. Very good opener again from Richard, just a couple of feet past. Well, he's going good, to be fair. His first bowl's really good, which immediately puts Dave under pressure. And well, from what I've seen, I don't know what the earlier in the game was like.
It certainly has been the case, especially carrying over from his first game earlier today in the quarterfinals, Richard Hocking. And I suppose then it might give you some more time for bowls.
Wow, yeah.
You're going to get even better.
I doubt that. Very good reply from Dave though there.
So how long have you been at the Cancer Society for?
In Wellington for 3.5 years,
okay.
and 6 years down in Dunedin, so nearly 10 years, but loved every minute of it, to be frank. And very proud to work for an organisation that does such good work in the community. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. And your changes in your life too?
Well, yes, very much settled in Wellington now.
Yeah.
In the hut.
But I hear you're making so much money that you can afford to enter the property market. And
No, that's very, very much not the case. See, I've got my sugar mama. She looks after me, and I'm just able to do all these pursuits.
excellent.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very much the silent partner when it comes financially. Yeah, Mike.
Well, that's exciting, mate.
Yeah.
No, I mean the house.
Oh no, absolutely. Yep.
That'll be good.
Last remaining match
Dave's trying hard here.
of this round.
Great shot, David. Good boy.
Yeah, great reply.
Yeah, and it's fallen over too, which has made it even better. So very,
Harder
very
to
good.
move.
Well, if it had sat up, Andrew had many chances to trail the
Let
jack.
me see a replay.
So you just watch where it finishes before the bowl falls over. It's quite a slow motion, isn't it? Good work, team.
Well, when it is a draw shot,
See, if it
a
hadn't
slow draw shot is not exactly... There it goes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Great camera work.
Oh, brilliant header, team.
Andrew Kelly's already finished. Next 3 shots, hasn't he?
Yeah,
This is the 2 ends later.
Perfect weight for what he was trying to do. So that'll give him a bit of confidence with the next one, I think. Bruce desperately needs another one there. If Andrew can touch that jack round the corner, they're in trouble. There's a big gust of wind just as it started to turn.
Yeah.
It's just carried it on. Yeah, welcome to our world.
Yeah, it was interesting. The other thing I thought, I don't know if it is a factor, but Bruce and Dave have both played further down, the rinks further down. Are these two rinks here, would they be the worst, the most wind affected, or not?
Oh look, I don't know to be honest, because I only got one chance to play. Tell you what, Andrew's close there.
Oh,
brilliant.
Yes, just
Brilliant
gets a
shot.
touch, comes off that Archer bowl, and then slides its way in the middle of a bevy of bowls of Kelly and Hocking, two of Hocking's and one of Kelly's.
It'll take Bruce long to decide to drive this, and he's got two
rid of
of
a
them
couple
out.
of them.
He's actually got three on. Maybe he's only got 1 second. Might even be two, is it? I don't know. Might be two. One to look.
Yeah, certainly didn't hesitate on the mat there, did he?
No.
Bruce McNish.
How quick's the slow motion of the drive? Does that go slow as well, or?
Funny that. It was one of the first times we've done a slow motion draw shot though. It took an age to get there. Because you couldn't back out once you started to the slow motion, could you? You couldn't go, let's just stop now, let's keep playing it out. And so 18 seconds became 36. Well,
Bruce looks to be tight here, and
yeah. Teapot's out as well.
Am I off? No, good, thank you. Just under the head all the way there, measuring for two.
Yeah, so either that one there of Dave Archer, which is the second,
Just
or
one.
yeah, just one.
These young fellas don't know what they measure. You should be able to tell.
Their eyes should be that good, you reckon?
Oh.
Your eyes were that good back then, weren't
Well, they still are.
they? Yeah. If you could tell from here, they should be able to tell from right there.
Exactly.
So 12 shot advantage it is now after 13 of the 18 ends. 19-7 it is.
And he's the 84-year-old, soon to be 85 this year. Kevin Hickland's turned up again. He's just been away collecting my wage for
Oh, that's
this
good.
little duty, which is kind of him. I don't know why he's looking there. Hey, I noticed you got some binoculars, Kevin. Does that mean the eyesight's going? I suppose at 84 it probably is.
Enough for both of us, all right?
I've not touched them. Tried to say that for both of us. Cheeky. Whenever you do want to go as well, Mike, don't feel you're obliged to stay
no,
for the rest of the
I
match.
enjoy your company so much.
Oh,
We'll do up and back, eh?
oh yeah, all right, yeah, brilliant.
Game will
That's
just
the
about
deal.
be over by then.
Yeah, you're
If they
right.
score again.
Yeah, yeah. If they score on the next couple of ends, I think that will be it.
Dave looks to be reasonably well weighted here. Turning towards the jack now. Not bad.
Oh, it's going to come back to that centre line pretty
Still
much.
a yard though, isn't he?
Yeah, just
But
too much
there you
weight.
go.
Let's see if Hocking can make the adjustment. It's very rare that he has two wayward bowls.
Yeah, see, his weight's been perfect both times. He's clearly got the feel of the green, even though it is blowing. His weight control's been very good, what I've seen.
And this is the way that seemed to trouble you guys in your match and
Yep.
your opposition. This was a lot more wind affected, playing this way away
Well,
from the commentary position.
Just that it's under the wind, and so you're conscious of giving it more, and then if the wind doesn't blow, it careers, and so you make the adjustment, take a bit off, and then the wind blows and you're 6 foot short. So it's, whereas downwind you can just sort of let it ease out of your hand because it's that darn quick coming back that you've got a little bit more control on it. Which it just seems to have been a little tight again and just finishes under Dave's. So Dave's got the shot.
Wasn't far away, Richard Hocking there from just sitting inside that bowl from Dave Archer. Archer will now play his third and final bowl of this end.
So he's tried to correct his line because he was a bit tight, and he's gone out a fraction. He's not quite going to get back to the centre line, although his weight's very good, so that's good enough, I think, for another shot. So 3 good bowls from Dave there, to be fair. Into the wind.
Yeah, in these conditions, again, those all within a metre.
Yep.
So you can pretty much say they're within a foot. That's how good those 3 bowls are. Much better than they look because of the wind, as you continue to hear rattling away in our microphones. So I assume you're going to stick around and watch Caitlin and Ryan tomorrow now?
Yeah, I'll stay and watch those finals and then wander off down the road. Andrew looks to be a little short, is he?
Yeah, didn't quite have the right weight there. You can almost see that immediately out of the hand. McNish will now use that as a bit of a marker, really. If you can just come around that Andrew Kelly bowl, and it'll be a different, pretty decent line to the Jack, but
to the
that one just didn't come back. Hung out a bit further than I was talking about. Kelly can now use his bowl as a bit of a market.
Yes. Well pointed here. Has he got enough weight? He's probably the shot.
As it just turns in, that will definitely be the shot. It's level with the Jack.
Sat right in front of Dave, so it's going to be hard to get rid of. So everything going their way, to be fair. They're playing better, and when they're under pressure, like Andrew was there when he's 3 down, he's drawn the shot, but he's put them in a place where it's going to be difficult to get out of, and that's what happens when you're going well and you're playing well as a team.
A few frustrations from Bruce McNish. It just hasn't gone he and Dave Archer's way. Large periods here and difficult conditions. They ground out 2 great wins earlier today. They went the distance to both of them against Pat Houlihan and Howard O'Donnell, and that's a great bowl.
Brilliant bowl from Andrew. He's playing well.
Yeah, and then they overcame Keanu Darby and Richard Kerr. So they've had 2 games which have gone the full 18 ends. Now that drive's coming to try and knock away that bowl. It's going to be narrow. Oh, almost collected both.
Dear, oh dear.
As he got narrow, hit the short bowl of Andrew Kelly, but almost collected the shot bowl. And it's shake hands time.
Well,
so you're not having to get up and back.
We didn't even get to go back. Nah, look, top performance from Richard and Andrew, and fully deserves it. What I've seen today of Richard, he's played superbly well all day, and that's only in patches, to be fair. But I'd imagine that he's the rest of each of those 3 games he's gone particularly well. So great job, and they played well. And good on Bruce and Dave, 2 old timers. Getting to the semi-final New Zealand pairs is no mean feat, so they'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, of course, Dave Archer, Mike Kernan's old pairs partner, winning the Nationals in 2007. Bruce McNish winning it in 1994. So getting all the way to the semi-finals. Great effort from these 2, but it will be Andrew Kelly and Richard Hocking, the 2 youngsters, take on Raymond Martin and Robert Bennett in the final tomorrow. And coming up next here on our coverage, we'll have a men's singles quarter-final. Andrew Kelly will be back in action up against Ali Forsyth, the 2 Blackjacks doing battle.
The convener's just walked past.
As Phil Scotland makes his way past, he must be getting the prime position.
He didn't wave at me. No, I know.
Oh, that's telling. That's telling.
It is.
So don't expect M. Kernahan and the team sheet for the Blackjacks.
No, not happy.
For the Trans-Tasman coming early next month.
Oh, hang on, there's a tear coming into my eye. I'll just get my hand clean. Look, thank you very much for the privilege of working with you gentlemen behind the microphone.
Always a privilege and a pleasure. Mike Kernahan there, current
Thanks,
blackjack,
boys. Good
multiple
job.
national champion, joining us in commentary. Really appreciate all the insights from the top players around these Summerset national singles and pairs. And that's it for this session. Join us shortly, though. We will have men's pairs quarter-final action. Andrew Kelly back in action against Ali Forsyth.